In this flow, we'll be staying active in our movements and trying to target our hamstrings. We will also be getting our calves and Achilles, and of course our spine, along with some extra upper body in there, hips and hip flexors always included. Go ahead and just get down onto your mat, get into child's pose, and reach your fingers to the wall in front of you. Start really actively stretching your spine. And we're always going to make sure to focus on your breathing. We always want to take deep breaths. And come up into a tabletop. And we're just going to move your head on your neck, releasing any tension. And then roll your spine all the way up to the ceiling in cat. And when you get to the top, just hold your breath. Deep inhale. And then exhale it all the way out. Roll your spine all the way down to cow. Inhale all the way up to cat. Hold your breath at the top. Exhale, roll down to cow. Inhale to cat. Hold your breath at the top. Exhale all the way down to cow. Now roll your spine side to side, making an S pattern, just rolling around each and every vertebrae. Letting your spinal fluid move inside, releasing everything that's holding you tight. And come back to child's pose. Reaching the fingers all the way to the wall in front of you, stretching your spine. Coming up onto all fours, just stretch your right foot straight out to the side. And then just gonna squish down into a child's pose, still reaching your fingers out in front of you, keeping your right leg straight out to the side. Coming up, keeping an active movement. Lower down into a child's pose, right leg still out. And come up. One more time. Down to child's pose, right leg out. Reach your fingers. And come up. Right arm straight up to the sky, threading the needle, dropping down to the right shoulder. Bring your arm back up, all the way up, rolling your shoulder backwards, opening your chest, threading the needle, dropping back down to your right shoulder. All the way up, rolling your shoulder backwards, opening your chest. Stretch that out, back into child's pose. And onto the other side. Left foot straight out. Come down to child's pose. Reach your fingers in front of you. And come up. Keep it an active movement. Down to child's pose. Left leg still out. And come up. Down to child's pose, reaching your arms out in front of you. And come up. Left arm straight up to the ceiling, threading the needle, dropping down to your left shoulder. Nice spinal twist. Bring your arm all the way back up, stretching to the ceiling, threading the needle, dropping down. Left arm all the way back up, rolling your shoulder backwards, opening your chest, and bring it down, threading the needle. And one more time, bring it up. And come back to child's pose, bringing your left foot back in. Back up to a tabletop, tuck under your toes, and we're just going to stretch your calves a little and your Achilles, and lower down, reaching your fingers, come back up. Lower down, keeping those toes tucked under, stretching those calves and Achilles. Come back up. Lower down, sink down, reaching your fingers, and come back up. All the way up to a down dog. And you can just paddle your heels and reach for the floor with your heels. Press into the heels of your palms, reaching your chest for the floor. And just get a good active stretch in your hamstrings. Bend your knees if that feels nice. Dog, and just bring your right foot on top of your left heel, and then we're just going to paddle your heel to the floor, again really stretching the Achilles and your calf. And step forward to low lunge, extending your stretch. Reach your fingers all the way to the ceiling, extending as far as you can. Bring your hands back down to the mat, straighten your right leg, half splits, heel down, toes to the ceiling. Trying to fold over your right leg. Move forward, back up to low lunge, extending your stretch. Crescent moon, palms back to the mat, back to half splits. Each time you could fold a little deeper and over your leg. Heel down, toes up. Don't forget to breathe through your stretch. Back up to low lunge, extending all the way to half moon. Back to the mat. Back to half splits, folding deeper into your leg. Back to low lunge, and back to your down dog. You can paddle that out. Press into the heels of your palms, straightening and bending each leg. Left toes all the way to the ceiling. Bring it back down onto your right heel. Paddle your right heel, stretching that Achilles. Back to the ceiling and step forward to low lunge. On low lunge, you're really pushing into the hip flexor on the opposite side. Left foot forward, back down to the mat, into half splits. Breathing through the stretch. Folding over your leg. Back up to low lunge, extending your stretch all the way through that hip flexor. Deep hamstring stretch in half splits. Breathing through it. Back up to low lunge. Reaching your fingers back. Back down to half splits. Really fold over that leg. Let your exhale just take you deeper into the stretch. Back up to low lunge. And back to down dog. And you can paddle that out. Straightening and bending each knee. Reaching your heels for the floor. And whenever you are ready, you can stay in down dog or you can drop down into child's pose. And come back up, tuck your toes under, back to your down dog. Again, paddle your heels. Always want to reach your heels for the floor. Raise your right leg all the way to the ceiling. Step forward to high lunge. Extending your stretch, reaching for the ceiling. And come up to standing splits. Weight and balance in the arch of your right foot. Reaching your left foot to the ceiling. Bring your left foot back to the mat. Bend your knees. Reaching for your elbows. We're just going to hang and ragdoll. Let the weight of your upper body pull your spine into a nice stretch. Decompressing your vertebrae, and just start to rock side to side. Straightening and bending each leg. You can feel that stretch all the way up the hamstrings into the glutes. Bring your hands to your shins, a flat spine, to half forward fold, pushing your glutes and hams to the wall behind you, and shift the weight to the front of your feet, folding in half into forward fold. And step back to high plank, and back to down dog. You can paddle that out. Left foot all the way to the ceiling. Step forward to high lunge, extending your stretch. Come up to half standing splits. Drop back down to the mat into warrior two. And then come straight to star. Both feet facing forward, and then bend down into wide leg forward fold. Legs as straight as you can without locking the knee. Walk your hands to your right foot. Back to the center, and walk your hands to your left foot. It's okay to have a slight bend in your knee. Really want to stretch into the hamstrings. Back to the center. And bend your right knee, stretching the inside of the left thigh. Back to the center. Bend your left knee. And rotate forward to the front of your mat. And just go back to down dog. And you can paddle that out. Bending your knees and drop back down to child's pose. And you can hold child's pose as long as you like, or you can go back through the movements again and do them as many times as you want. And that concludes our session for today, and namaste.